Hey everybody, it's Ashley Bissett Summerall with Telltale TV. I am really excited to be joined today by Adriyan Rae, who you might recognize from Vagrant Queen. And now she is the newest member of Chicago Fire. She plays Gianna Mackey, who has just joined the team at Firehouse 51. Adriyan, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And I would love to just start by talking a little bit about how it is that you came to be involved with Chicago Fire.
Oh, I got the audition through my reps, and it was like my first one for Chicago Fire.
Okay.
I had been I put in my post when I announced that I was cast, that I had been auditioning for the Chicago shows for 2 years, but it was mainly PD.
Okay.
Now that I go through the emails, I'm like, oh, it was almost all PD. They didn't want me. Um, but I got another audition and it was from Chicago Fire, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. It's just paramedic. I have medical background." But I was like, "Don't get your hopes up because they always say, 'Good job, did great,' and I don't book it." So I just went in there and I had fun. We were doing self tapes because it was during the pandemic. Luckily, I'm an actor that was trained in Atlanta first, so in Atlanta they self tape a lot more than going in person than they do in LA comparatively. So I was already trained with self tapes before the pandemic, and it was nice because now I'm like, oh, I'm in my space.
Right.
So I did the audition and they liked it, and it was cool. We heard back, we got a call back, and I did another audition, and then we got another producer session callback, and then they also said the writers want to talk with you, and I was like, oh, that never happened before. Did I do something wrong? And I met up with the writers, and they discussed with me just like the notes and how they, wanted to see the scene. She was just like, I really want you to do great. That's all. That's all this call is about. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just took weight off of you, and then my final producer session, that was a Zoom call. It was just like this here, but I'm acting, which is a little nerve wracking, right?
Sure.
Because what if the Zoom glitches, and also you have to talk to your readers behind it, but you got to talk to the laptop, and you're supposed to ignore the camera. It's just a different way of auditioning for sure. So I was a little nervous about that, and then after I did it, I felt really good. I finished my audition, and it's always good for me when they have follow-up questions. They try to learn about you or something like that. And the first question they said was, "How are you with cold?" I was like, "Fine. I'll be fine." I was like, "I'm good. Yeah. How are you with heights?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then my readers behind me, "You got this." So I was holding it all inside, trying to be professional in front of the camera. He's behind there freaking out. So yeah, it was really fun. And then we got the call maybe like 3 days later that I booked it, and I was just stoked.
That's amazing. There's so much going on there because it's interesting to me that you were kind of in the mode of the Chicago shows. You said mostly PD. Did you also audition for med or just PD in
I
the fire?
auditioned for one med role. Yeah, like
So
some of the roles I auditioned for, Atwater when he had his soft love interest and the girl goes to jail. I auditioned for that. So it was like, then that was a while ago. So
yeah.
it's been a while that I've been auditioning for these shows.
And it finally worked, and it's perfect. It's perfect. But what is it about those shows that made you like want to keep trying for the Chicago universe?
Well, there's two reasons, and this speaks to anyone who's a creative that may be watching this. I'm an actor, and I like to create, and I think auditioning. I tapped in really when I found auditioning to be fun. So when I get an audition and the character's great, and not saying that the universe isn't great. I'm going to get to that point, but just the characters and reading their breakdowns, I'm like, oh, I want to at least practice this or try it out. And of course, I wouldn't mind being on a Dick Wolf show. So yeah, let's do it. And if they give me another one, it's more practice and things like that. But to speak to the universe of it all, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine. It's dynamic. Like you get to do drama. There's comedy bits inside of it. So of course, like as I get them, I'm just gonna keep going with the punches. I mean, because that's what this game is. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So.
Mhm. Awesome. I think that's really cool. I think the character is a great addition. I mean, granted, we've only seen the first episode, but Gianna has this energy, like right from the start, that you feel like that's going to be good for this firehouse.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoy her and the dynamic that she has with everyone in the firehouse and finding it. It's really cool finding it. Just while we're in there shooting it and all of us are in our characters, it's like, oh, who is she really like vibing with, and who's like, we're looking around and some certain people are checking on me and like, oh, look at that, and of course Joe is there. But yeah, I really think she fits really well, and she's fun, right? That's what I said in the Insta stories before the show aired. I was like, she's fun, but I think she's really fun.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that first moment when we meet her is really cool. You see Joe sort of hustling. You don't know why he's hustling at first, and it turns out it's because he has this history with Gianna. He wanted to introduce her, but she didn't need him to introduce her like at all. And
Okay.
the response is great. Like she's ready to be a part of that group pretty easily, I think. What else can I mean, we get a sense of her personality,
Mm-hmm.
find out a little bit about, just a little bit of backstory with Joe. What else can you tell us about this character and what we can kind of expect from her moving forward?
Um, I can tell you about her, her journey, and I think that it's one where um, someone who's been through a lot, and they learn that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be human. And I think that's a very relatable journey, as we've all been through things and we build up walls. And then there comes a point in your life where people around you and yourself are kind of like, hey, it's okay if you, you're like, no, no, no. But really, it's healthier.
Right.
And she's going through that, and she's in a transition in her life. So I think we can look forward to more of that. Look forward to, I don't know if she will have a love interest, but she's ready to mingle. So I think
Really.
that'd be fun. And some good comedic things where she's just gonna crack on Joe because nobody else can.
Right. which is which is nice to see, really, for him to have somebody else that he can bounce off of now. I mean, that'll be an interesting new dynamic potentially.
Yeah, for sure. I love working with Joe. I literally
Yeah.
love it. And he's like a big brother to me. Like, it's great.
So talk a little bit just about that, about what it's been like to jump in with this cast. It's season 9. I mean, the show's been on for a long time. What was it like, diving in and getting to work with everybody and kind of getting started?
It was way different than any experience I've ever had. With the show that's in its ninth season, everybody has their friends and they have their memories and all of those things. And sometimes it can be intimidating, or sometimes it's just people or adults and they're like not trying to make friends and, hi, how you doing? But we're all here to work, that type of thing. But it was so different. This was like a family, and they welcomed me with open arms. It was like I was the cousin that no one knew about, but they found out, and they're like, "Oh, come here. You want something to eat? Come on in." Like, they were just the sweetest. And I mean, from the moment the announcement came out, just things like Miranda checking in and saying, "Hey, girl, how you doing? I'm Miranda. I want to just say hi." Or Kara, like, just saying, "Hey, you want to set up a call so we can just talk and get to know each other?" Yeah, I would. And that stuff really, it means something, not just, for Gianna, but for me, and feeling like, oh, okay, this is a safe space. I'm welcomed here. It's a warm welcome. It was really, really nice. Everyone's really great. Super down to earth.
That's the only thing I've ever heard about these shows, is that it's just this sort of kind of special environment. And you had to move, presumably, right? Difficult, interesting. Cold?
Very interesting. Not necessarily difficult. Well, yeah, it was difficult. Um, I finally got my perfect the apartment that I've been dreaming about. And of course, it's like, oh, that's great, move. but wait. And then I had gotten a puppy. I had gotten a puppy because I didn't know, when you sign up for a puppy, you don't know that you're going to book something in like a month or so.
Mhm.
So it was, dealing with her and having her transition with me as well. And she's already a puppy, so they're very sensitive to transitioning. Um, it was quite different because Chicago's very different and it's very far. Moving across the country, the temperatures and the climate's completely different. And then you're by yourself. You don't know anyone. So it was nice that, the cast was so welcoming and warm. So I didn't feel completely like by myself.
Mhm.
Even though the COVID situation and working during a pandemic does alter our like how much we interact and, things like that. But yeah, it was difficult for sure. But nothing that I couldn't do. All of it's different. And it's not necessarily a challenge unless you think of it as one, right? Um, for me, it was just like, oh, I got to do this. Okay. I try not to get wrapped up in how it's not the same as before because what is that going to help me with? Oh, we used to. Okay, but we don't anymore. So figure it out and do it this way because that's what we do now. So that part wasn't challenging, but it is challenging to like, have these moments where we're just interacting with, the other cast members because literally I think at least 4 of them have told me, man, it sucks that you had to join now because we would have done this, we would have done that. Oh, it was your birthday, we would have done that for you.
Aw.
And just can't because of regulations, protocols, and trying to keep everyone safe and working and make great TV and stay safe. But yeah, I'm not super stressed about the actual following protocols and that stuff at all.
Gianna gets quite the introduction, quite the first episode. Holy crap.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you found out that was going to be the first episode for your character?
Um, my exact words was, "Oh shit, this is great." Um, I thought it was a great intro and a great way to show her personality and the layers of her without having a bunch of expository writing to do it. Make it
Mhm.
situational, and I thought that was really cool and fun. It was fun. It was first. This is my first episode. Awesome, doing stunts. Cool. Let's do it. It was great.
Will we get to see a little bit more of that kind of backstory with Joe Cruz?
Um, you will see more of the backstory with Cruz, and you'll genuinely learn how deep our bond is and where the dynamic comes from. And I think that it will show viewers a different side of both of the characters.
I want to also back up to something that you said at the beginning. You said you had medical background.
Yes.
What is that, and how has that kind of helped you with the role?
Oh, it's great. I went to school and I got 2 degrees in medical laboratory science and physician assistant studies. And I'm a certified medical laboratory scientist by the American Society of Clinical Pathology. Um, so it helped because the medical stuff, the jargon, is not jargon to me. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it,
Right.
I know it. But yeah, I mean, it's been helpful, and with the pandemic and everything going on, when people have questions, they'll come to me like, "Hey, you were in the lab. Does this sound right?" or things like that. That's a lot of our conversations, how it goes too. But I'm still learning. Even though I did go to school for that, I try to come to set with an open mind and knowing that I don't know everything. That whatever I think I know nothing compared to what I could know and the infinite information of the universe. Um, so when we have the medical personnel there who actually work in the field, I'm not like, oh no. I'm like, huh, yeah, okay. What do you do then? Okay, cool. Very eager to learn from them and grateful for them. Oh, they're amazing. Michelle, it's great. Chick, so great. So yeah, that's how it kind of works. Like I see like the first episode they had a word apnic, and I remember Kara said, she's like, how do you say this? And I was like, apnic. And she was like, oh, see, just love that you have this knowledge. It's great. And then Michelle came in and she was like, yeah, it's apnic. And I was like, yes, got it right. So, it's fun.
That's really cool. It's cool how life kind of imitated art for you in that way a little. Okay, one last question for you. Just aside from that fun fact that we just learned about you, is there anything else you think fans might be surprised to find out about you?
I do not eat baked goods that's not baked at home.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
They just taste so nasty and they're too sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, like
Tasty.
even if it's a bakery, or you
Even
mean
then,
like
like, what's
packaged?
that? No, that's like that's okay. Like a bakery's okay, but like Little Debbie's Tasty Cake. I've never had those, and I don't want.
Oh, I feel you. I understand. They are too sweet.
Yeah, and then they add more sweet on top of it, and then put sweet inside of it. I'm like, this is diabetes.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. Well, Adrian, thank you again so much for taking the time. Really enjoyed talking with you today, and excited to see what's going to come up for Gianna Mackey this season.
Thank you
So
so
thanks.
much.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.